I have always been of the opinion that the survival game community is forgiving a little bit too much when it comes to issues or certain gameplay aspects which are not fully working out in the survival game genre. Now, I'm happy to announce that I just played 30 hours of The Legend of California Alpha, and it shows exactly what's wrong with a lot of other survival games. And it also shows that the Blizzard effect is still existing. What does that mean? Well, when you know Blizzard games back in the day, they always had this pedigree to them that when they are touching something, they will round a lot of edges, makes it much easier for a lot of new people to actually enter that genre, but still keeping that high ceiling, which makes people come back for hundreds, if not thousands of hours. And that is exactly what The Legend of California is captivating with the team of Katsugoyama, and that is with Jeff Kaplan and many more amazing former Blizzard workers. So, what makes this game special? Well, as I said, I think the first thing is that they really looked at the survival genre and said, okay, what can we do here to make it easier for people to actually pick up a survival game, but still make it so that after hundreds of hours, people will come back? Like, one of the things I immediately noticed was the interface. The interface is so good. Like, it really makes you aware of how shitty the interface and UI in particular is in other survival games. Let me just give you an example. Scum. Look, I think that Scum is a decent survival game, but the interface is directly coming from hell, and how you interact with that interface is just not fun, so much so that you have to read it up in a wiki, or even have to start a video to explain to you exactly what the hell you have to do as a new player. In The Legend of California, no problem, the interface is smooth, you can open up multiple interfaces, not connected to each other, like the inventory and the character menu. You click on an item, you can immediately contextual decide what you want to do with the item, like lock it, throw it away when you are just standing around. When you are at a shop, you will now have the options to sell, to put it in your inventory again, to drop it, yada yada yada. Like, you just do all this with an easy click, and it feels so good and so smooth. I never had such an easy time to move items around. And I know this is such a small thing where people will say, well, that's it? Yeah, that's it. But it shows you how much they do care for details. Or let me give you a more, I think, impressive example here on how they actually managed to get new players not confused, but already have a gameplay system layered onto that to make it probably interesting for the next hundreds of hours, and that's horses. So when you're starting out after like 2 to 3 hours, depending on how you gameplay, of course, you will get a horse. Well, you would not get a horse, you will get a mule. And this is your first mount you're using to get from A to B. You're not thinking about it, right? You get the mule, it's super cheap, and there's nothing to it. You just summon it whenever you need it, you jump on the mule, you run to the place you want to go, that's it. And then after about, I would say 10 to 12 hours, you would actually get the ability to gain a horse. And here is where the game is now opening up. And it's like, okay, so you're not just buying a horse, you're going to a stable. And they have, I think, 10 horses a day. And the horses will change every day because they come with their own stats, their own passives. And then you can also start to actually equip them with certain items to change even more the direction you want to push the horse. So you might want to have a horse which is super fast. You might want a horse which can carry a lot of items. Or you might want a horse which has a lot of health, but is also really strong in trampling enemies. So you are just literally rushing through the enemy lines and just do a roadkill, literally, or horse kill. And depending on the leveling process you also now have with the horse, you can increase those stats. You can get new talents. Like my horse here in particular has weak knees. That's a debuff, which unfortunately means whenever that horse is getting fall damage, it gets 50% more. Not great, but all the other stats are so amazing that I said, okay, you know what? Let's stay away from cliffs, but everything else will be amazing. And then I started to go over mountains, but that is a different topic. Like, those gameplay systems are everywhere. Weapons, same thing. You are starting with a bow, nothing really to tell here. Then you are getting your first flintlock weapons, and they're still straightforward. There's nothing really to it. But then you're slowly getting into tier 2, and the game is opening up again and is saying, okay, so now you can craft your much better weapons like a trapdoor rifle like the Bison, or your first revolver, and the game is like, hey, do you want to put like special resources into it to completely change what the gun is doing? And when you have crafted the gun, you can also now choose the ammunition, which will also change what the gun is doing. Then there are mod systems, like my revolver, for an example here, is modified in a way that it can carry 2 more shots, so it's now a magical 8-shooter instead of a 6-shooter. Just roll with it. But also, it has a longer range, 50% more accuracy if I'm not using ADS, and for the last upgrade, I chose Fan the Hammer. So this pistol is now my close quarter combat weapon, where I'm just going around the corner, just unload that pistol into the first enemy I see and kill them more or less instantly, right? And so you can do that with every gun. And that gameplay element, as I said before, is really trying to just explain to you how they start out things. That yes, at the beginning when you are getting a new gameplay element, it's pretty straightforward, it's very simple, and you might even think, oh, that's all to it. No, after a few hours you will realize there is a lot. And the same goes for everything in the game, like the animations, the graphics, the music, the sound. Oh my gosh, the sound is so great of the weapons, the fighting. It feels so good. Then, of course, you have the world design. Like, you really love to just go around in the world, right? You want to explore because there is so much to find. And they have a pretty cool system in where part of the world is procedurally generated. What does that mean? Well, first of all, where you start out and in which tier systems you are is changing from server to server, right? Like, I did start in tier 1 at the south of the island of California. Yes, California is an island here. And if I would have played on another server, like, I might have started in the north. And there would be the tier 1 and tier 2 areas. So that always changes and makes it so that you have to rethink a little bit your plans every time the server is getting resetted or you are going to another server. Then another really cool thing about this procedural generated system is they do have points of interests, small, medium, and large ones, and the large ones are just absolutely insane. And they can pop up everywhere. They even can pop up in a PvP area, right? And when that happens, those points of interests are already made, right? They are handcrafted, they are handmade by the developers. But you can also just wander through the world, and they are things which are randomly generated. Camps, like posses going around. Then, of course, you have like mines you have to go to, and there's so much you can explore and find. It never ends because of this randomly generated system. And there's also a lot of handcrafted stuff, unique handcrafted stuff all over the map. The map is gigantic. Like, I tried to explore the map at the last hour of the alpha, and I was running around with a very fast horse. I would say I managed to go to about 50% of the map in an hour, just going more or less straight up. It's really impressive. And it's filled. It's filled to the brim with things to find, which is crazy, right? It's like so many survival games have just emptiness to them. And this game is not trying to fall for that trap. Speaking about falling for a trap, another thing I also noticed is, you know how in survival games, farming is kind of a gameplay loop? Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against farming. You know, just mindlessly chopping some wood, picking some stone, you know, you just sometimes do that, that's fun. This game is trying to make the farming in a way where you just have to fill up what you need. Ammunition, food, and maybe need a resource to craft something. That would take you a little bit of time, right? But that is also fun. They are trying to make that fun and interesting and add multiple gameplay mechanics to it, like the mining, right? You will build your own mine. The mine is procedural generated, has up to 10 levels, and you have to find like the different elevators, their new resources, and what's really cool is not all the resources will be in your mine. Like, let me just give you two simple examples here. Sulfur and tin you need later on for bronze, right? Those two things you will never find in your mine. You have to go into the enemy mines and farm them there. And the same, the other way around is with lead. Lead is only be found in your mine. So there is a cool mixture between, yeah, sure, you can do a lot in your ranch when it comes to farming, but the game still wants you to go out there and farm certain stuff. Same goes for crafting. You can, of course, craft a lot of things, but a lot of the items or special items, you need to craft a weapon or something really special to upgrade your workbench or something like that. You have to go out there. You have to fight enemies, right? And I love that they are doing this. Like, the fighting is not just a reward for you farming for 12 hours. It's a integrated part together with the farming to push the game forward. And again, like all those systems, they just click. They just work smoothly with each other. And even this game is an alpha, and it's a real alpha. This is not just the marketing alpha we are releasing in 2 weeks. No, it's a real alpha. It's already really good. Are there problems? Yeah, there are bugs. I have found enough. I have done quite a bit of bug reports over the weekend. Sure. I can also say that I was playing with a 200 ping on a US server, which is my fault, right? They made it pretty clear that, hey, the alpha is only available on US servers. Like, keep that in mind. And I was like, yeah, okay. But I definitely felt that. This is also the reason why you're sometimes wondering why I'm missing shots here. Basically clicking firing or something, and then it takes 2 seconds before something happens on the screen. It's irritating. But that was, of course, a problem. And yeah, I had like 2 crashes, I think, at the beginning of the game. But 2 crashes for 30 hours in a survival game, I have seen worse. Like, in general, when you play this game in alpha, like, it is already further along than quite a bit of survival games we got, which did go into early access. So this game got its fangs deep into me. Like, I haven't felt this exciting or excited about a game in years. Like, I was thinking about the game when I was offline. When I knew that this is the last day of the alpha, I already had withdrawal symptoms, and I can't even remember when the last game was I played, which did that to me. Like, I know this sounds stupid, but The Legend of California could literally be the World of Warcraft for survival games. And yes, I know we already had quite a bit of successful survival games. I mean, Palworld is going into 1.0 very soon, and we'll probably have millions of players at the same time again on Steam. But this game just screams quality and developers knowing what they are doing, but also working really well together. It's obscene, really. And I cannot wait to play more. Now, what we will do next week, we will talk a little bit more about PvP in the alpha, because I'm also playing that. So if you were looking for that, yeah, how did the PvP work? How did that feel? How did that go? That will be an extra video I will do next week. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, I will definitely still make videos about the game. When the game is coming out, there will be definitely guides. I already have tons of guides in my head, but making guides right now is absolutely stupid and useless because 95% of the player base cannot even play it, and it's alpha, it's changing anyways, and yeah. So, well, right now nobody can play it because the alpha is over. So, but there will be 100% guides when the game is coming out. There is so much to discuss. Well, with that said, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. Also, if you're new to the channel and you want to see more The Legend of California down the road, or survival games and RP games, it's what we are focusing on here on the Mole RP channel, I would appreciate if you might consider to subscribe. With that said, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe. Bye-bye.